Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris. This is Football Manager 24. Super Swans destroying the game one last time with an eye on a Champions League. And that is going to be the main focus here. Livecom is actually in the league, but Champions League has been interesting. Haven't really found a good point to check in on it and do a livecom on it. There were opportunities, but I just felt other games might be better. And the way it's all panned out, it's just kind of... It just didn't feel like there was a nice stopping point. The same with January. Very little kind of was happening. And I did record some stuff, but... yeah, there was just big gaps of inaction when nothing was happening. And rather than spend hours putting together a video that was really going to be stitched together with like 4 different recordings, because that's how long everything took, I figured we'd just do a recap the other side instead, so about a month after the transfer window. So that's what we're going to bring you into first. A little bit about the squad. And, yeah, the squad that we had in place. I mean, Evan Ferguson was our last signing. So Marcos Andre, the Brazilian goalkeeper, does come in for decent money. He immediately goes back out on loan in Brazil. He's got a work permit, but there's no real place for him in the team. And the James Trafford deal for $12.5 million, I think, is a pretty good one to be our backup / rotation / cup goalkeeper. To give Georgie a bit of time off as it's needed. He's tall, he's English, he's very good in the air, and he's not too bad at the other things I prize as well. So I think for 12.5, that's a pretty good deal all in all. And then the one deal I really did in January that I felt has been coming for a while, maybe, was Bergvall. And, yeah, he's a very good midfielder, very young, high potential, but there's a few things to really like about him. High determination, physically, he's set, great vision, and, yeah, 6'1", model citizen, runs the ball through center. So he kind of fits the tactic I play, the style I play, and kind of what I want from my midfielders quite well. He's still very raw. He's still got a ton of development available. Not as much as I thought he had. But yeah, 4 stars now is actually getting to be like a really good player. We're moving so high up the list. But yeah, he's available for, I think, 22 to 32. It ended up being 29. And Spurs, again, just another player that isn't being used and can be got relatively cheap. Like I say, he's now worth double what we paid for him almost instantly. But yeah, very good scout report. There's definitely a lot of weaknesses in his game. But for the 2 roles that we actually play, centre mid on support, you can see there's some 12 and 13s in there, but he looks really solid. That 9 tackling is the kind of weak point in that role. Mazzala attack is actually what I think he ends up playing, and that's really just finishing that isn't at a 12 or above. Oh, sorry, balance as well. We are improving that. But yeah, I think those are his roles. Likely to be Mazzala. There are going to be games he's going to play centre mid on support for me. And he just does it really well. He's young. He's good. He's been at Tottenham a while. And it hasn't really worked out for him. But that's fine, because he can now come to us and get, a bit more of a chance. He's very much now a rotational piece of the future. And I definitely foresee a world where we sell 1 or 2 of our actual starters in those positions. And he does just slot right in with some of the new gens then in behind him as rotations, and eventually probably supplanting him if we go long enough. But I really thought that was a good move for what it was. And then I panicked because there was basically a point where Andre was still here, but he was on international duty. Mamardashvili had a virus. I think he had a virus. No, James Trafford had a virus. Dashvili was super tired, and we basically didn't have any young goalkeepers. They were all out on loan. There's like a 3 silver star youth goalkeeper was the only one at our club, because we tried to sell people and put people out on loan with future fees and just development loans for a couple of okay prospects. We got a goalie, but we're not really deep there, and we don't have a very good prospect, which is why we brought Trafford as backup and Andre as our goalie of the future. And I think that will work out, but there wasn't much here. So, on loan, I just try to find the best goalie right now. And that, yeah, Owen Wilson was the guy we had. 2-star silver, 1 and maybe a half-star potential. Not exactly what you'd want. So, Jonas comes in. He's solid. He's not great, but he's young. There's a chance actually we can buy him really, really cheap if we want him as a third goalkeeper for next season. Kind of depending on what we do with Andre, I think. And then at left back, we had... They're not injury prone, either of them, but both Dorgu and Carboni keep getting injured for like 3 weeks to a month each. And it's always kind of been one, then the other, one, then the other, one, then the other. But ultimately, it comes to the point where we had them both out. Like Carboni was out, Dorgu was back, and then in training, 3 weeks Dorgu goes out, and I'm like, I don't really have a young left back that's not out on loan that I trust to start. I got 1 or 2 that could play there, but aren't naturals, and I got 1 or 2 that I'm okay off the bench and maybe giving 20, 30 minutes a game. But again, when I looked who was on loan or who was transfer listed, Timon is a big fee if we win the Premier League. I don't mind paying that because I needed someone for the month of January, basically. And it could prove a super expensive loan for a player that's not really worth it. But that's just what it is. And we know what Josh is. We know who he is. He did really well for us. We sold him to Newcastle. He didn't break into the team. He didn't do badly. He was never really given a run. But yeah, they kind of wanted to get rid of him. And so I decided I would take on the loan. And I've never seen the clause before. If you win the Premier League, it's a mandatory thing. I think the closest I've seen is if you get promoted, then it becomes a permanent transfer. So we got a little cheap deal in for Timon, basically, if he wants to come back to us at that point. But I think there's something else in that. It's not showing all the loan clauses. There's a couple in there for some reason. Like I say, really, really weird. Do a big deal, like I say, really, really cheap if we want to pick him up. And then I was just looking, because at that point I've been scouting for a while. I've been scouting Brazil. Argentina's been kind of quiet for some reason. Colombia's got some talent, but they've got bad player personalities and whatnot I don't want to deal with. I kind of want the best of the best at this point, because that's who's actually going to make it into my team in the future. And so we just found a couple. I was scouting in and around Germany, and we got ourselves a young Turkish striker. Goes back on loan to his old club, but great pace, great acceleration, very good, solid even in the air. He can't jump, not strong, he's 5'11", but he's very good header. But he does everything I really want quite well. And I do think he could be a little force in the future, a little $6 million deal. And then the centre-back prospects that looked really good now look just kind of good and bench rotation cup kind of options. So I brought in Balde. It was a very solid defensive midfielder / centre mid. Yeah. But he is a defender, and he's a model citizen. I say for $6 million, bring him in. Really good scout report. Sent him out on loan again for first team football to Hull. But also while I was in Portugal, I found just possibly the best left back I've ever seen as a regen at this age. And so I dropped the money for his release clause and brought him straight in. And now he is my backup left back for this season behind Calaboni, which upset Dorgu. But that's fine because Dorgu was the person I was trying to sell. And time was really tight in the transfer window. I knew they were coming in. I knew it was going to take until the end, but I knew the bids would be accepted because they were all release clauses apart from Kaylee, who was like 2 to 8 million value. We had the money to pull off all the deals. They were all young. They all wanted to be breakthroughs. Nobody else was interested. And I offered more in their contracts than they really wanted. So I knew they were coming in. And we tried our hardest to rush Dorgu out. It didn't really get done. But then we did get something done for next season instead. So, yeah, Gailey, 23 million out to South Korea. A good player, bit of prospect about him. He could be really good. He wasn't. And some loan deals, including Locker, who we're trying to get rid of. And like I say, Andre and Kaylee out, Balde out on loan there. So, not a ton, but one big out. And then one big in, really. The pre-approved, couple of youngsters, but the one big is going to be Bergvall. So, not a ton. We've got a deal over 23 for young Alan Newby, and I think it's worth looking at here. But his potential's dropped all the way down to 3 stars, but he does look really good. Yeah, maybe we are selling a really good player. I don't know. All I really know is he's never really done much. So, yeah, we sold him, and we've loaned him, and that's fine. Wolves for Dorgu. He was going out on loan, but then we sold him. That cancelled the loan deal. It's very tricky to get players sold to a different club than they're on loan to. But it's kind of possible. I've only managed it once or twice out of like 10 different attempts. So I usually end up cancelling the loan. So, sadly, he's still at the club. He's not as upset as he was. I think that's fine, right? He's not... Yeah, he's not actually unhappy anymore, which is good. But yeah, he didn't like the player coming in. It's not a ton of money, but it is a profit on him. Baybrook out for pretty much what we bought him for. Just less than we bought him for at the Crystal Palace again. That's kind of the Bergvall role that's being replaced to a certain degree. So he had to go out, and those two still going out. And then the final two, like Oliveira was already arranged. He'll come in at the end of the season because I think that's when that was the first point he was old enough, I think. And then I found, again, I don't love my defensive midfield options, especially depth. And Velasco just looks absolutely phenomenal. Only one he might not fit into the dressing room. I really don't care. He will be an absolute monster for us. And I kind of like almost everything about him. Wish he had a bit more strength and stuff, for sure. But yeah, I think he's going to be our future pivot and just really excel. He's tall enough, strong enough, good jumping, good heading to kind of slot back in as a halfback. But he can also be more on the ball and pass, as well as break up play. He can pass, he can move, he can sort of start some attacks up as well. So he'll come in, another big price. But all in all, a little tiny profit. And yeah, that's basically the season. Tiny profit with a lot of movement, to be fair, and some pretty big moves both going in and out over the course of the year. And that puts us into this stage. I think the last game we saw was the live comp of Arsenal's planning, like I say, of coming into the transfer window. But just looking at what had happened for the rest of the month and November, basically injury time cheese, where end of the first half, end of the second half, we beat Everton away. We get absolutely buried when we rotated and put in our B team pretty much against Arsenal on the road. Didn't enjoy that trip to the Emirates. I will say that. The 2 home games, I'm pretty happy with. This away game kind of went as planned. And we don't have to deal with the League Cup, which there's other ways of dealing with it. But yeah, it is that. Home to Man United, just a little dodgy too. But again, it's something you can understand and you can kind of accept. Over in Dortmund, Yamal doing really well. A little knock for Ferguson here. Kind of keeps him from being fully fit for a little while. But he goes to Brighton and then scores a hat-trick anyway. So, like, things are going really, really well. Atletico Madrid, we beat them, but really it's the defense that's coming up big. Mamardashvili doing really good, and a couple of early goals get the job done. And then Szoboszlai away to Leicester, as we have to rotate fairly heavily again, especially in midfield. And Ferguson's really kind of struggling at this point for fitness, and so's Yamal. So the strikers aren't quite where we want them to be. And Szoboszlai gets a good goal, couple of penalties, puts that one to bed. And then just monster game, Pedri early, Evan Ferguson equalizes. Szoboszlai gives us the lead. Harvey Elliott gives us comfort. Thuram makes us very nervous in the final 15. Sadly, the big thing from this is Lamine Yamal, and this is, what, almost 4 months ago? And he's still injured because he broke his damn ankle. Against his old club, he broke his ankle. He's been out for 4 months. Off the back of Baybrook being out for a couple of months, and Cam Humphreys being out for 4 months. Yamal's been out for 4 months. Both left backs have missed, like, probably 2.5 months of the season easily each. And concurrently, 3 to 4 weeks through most of January. It's been a little rough with the goalkeeper crisis, left back crisis, centre midfield crisis. And then Yamal breaks his leg. Coxell's not scoring. He's going through a drought. Mokoko's so up and down. It's like a very tired Evan Ferguson, the only real goal threat up front. And it all stems from this point going into the transfer window. So I was looking for a striker. I did not find one. Luckily, against Palace, Moukoko, Ferguson on the road with Brentford. And then against Tottenham, we did really, really well. We had a great 5 minutes. Ferguson gave us the early lead. Bit kind of ropey after that. And then coming up to the hour, Diamonde from a corner. Ferguson the very next minute. Ferguson a few minutes later to complete his hat-trick. And you're starting to think things are good. It's 4-0, everything's good. Then suddenly it's 4-2 inside 5 minutes, Porro and Jones. And Moukoko gets it done at the end. But again, we're not even being able to put out full benches for some of these games. As little as like 5 players on the bench. 4, I think, for one game. It's really dodgy. And then, yeah, again, we don't play well against Newcastle, but we're also super tired and we don't have any depth off the bench to compete. We also don't have many youngsters that aren't out on loan. We do lose to Liverpool. Mamardashvili does everything he can, but again, apart from Ferguson, there's so much missing up front. And this is the game where Dorgu goes out for 3 weeks after Carboni has just come back from an injury. And then Carboni will go out with an injury very soon. Get battered by Man City, which was my live com game. For the video, part of the video I did record. But we rotated, we had nobody fit to play. The bench is basically under 21s that just ain't that good. Esteve in defense. Palfrey did okay. He definitely I need to feed him more minutes, but it's not who you want out there against Man City. We had to rest Szoboszlai, Ferguson, who else? Kobe Mainu, Mark Gahey, Jeremy Frimpong, and one other probably that I can't remember, especially off the bench. With the other injuries we've already mentioned of Now Dogu, Cam Humphreys, Lamine Yamal. Just a brutal run. And then on the road against Bournemouth, and it's still not clicking. Moukoko has a good game, which is nice for us, but again, it's Ferguson. That's the only thing keeping us alive December and kind of January. Send the kids out at Oxford, hoping we get knocked out. They come away with a big win. You can't really call it. And Coxell's first goals for like 15 games, something stupid. Or maybe it's 15 hours. But yeah, he scores a brace. Of course he does, away to Oxford in the Cup. And that might get him going a little bit, which is nice. But then I thought it was Carboni out, then Dogu joined it. But, well, Dogu got injured for a month. And like a week later, Carboni's out for 3 weeks. Well, Dogu still has 3 weeks out. That's why we got Josh Tymon and panicked at left back before we found our young Portuguese player. And then Wolves, Szoboszlai's back. He's kind of fit. We're getting our first team players back in. Rare bad game from Evan Ferguson, but Gonzalez, Szoboszlai take care of it. Leipzig, Moukoko, he shows up for some reason against the German club. Maybe he just knows them really well, and Ferguson gets his goal, but the back line not really great. And we're still really tired. It doesn't really go our way away to Crystal Palace as well. A little bit of rotation again, especially some young centre-backs like Ben Reynolds, who, again, isn't really who you want out there, but he's not bad. He's only 5'9". As a centre-back, that's his main concern, to be honest with you. Dogu's just about coming back at this stage. And then young boys for our final Champions League league phase. Just basically, again, rotated heavily and tried to see what was what. Jonas Obig, his game, the only one I think he's played for us. 2 midfielders score, that's good. And that gives us more rest again we can put in. And Szoboszlai, Ferguson running the show. And Cameron Humphreys, after 4.5 months out, comes back against his old club. And I just thought it would be a nice story to have him come off the bench against his old club. No, 92nd minute winner for Cam Humphreys, which is a beautiful story, but oh my God, so crazy. But yeah, we weren't great in that one. But it really is a start of just getting out this little rough patch. And then we got another really rough patch coming up. But Cameron Humphreys then, his first start after that long injury, he hits a hat-trick. We dismantle Villa. We think everything looks really good. Carboni's back, but defensive errors again. We throw away a couple of points against Leeds. We should beat Forest on the road. Evan Ferguson, brilliant early on. It all kind of falls apart at Mamardashvili, having his kind of villain arc here with just some 6-4, 6-5s. And yeah, we outplayed Arsenal, and we don't win. And that sucks, but overall, we've done really well against them. Early on, we got knocked out the cup, that's fine, but home and away, we win at home, we get a draw away, and we get a draw in the Champions League. So I can't really argue, but we did deserve more from it. And then in the last game, it's just Evan Ferguson playing much better than anyone else on the pitch. Morgan Gibbs-White, former Swansea loanee for a brief period, but he's gone to Everton. He's doing pretty well there, to be honest with you. But he gets that early goal, and then Evan Ferguson, just a little 20-minute hat-trick to kill the game. So that's where it puts us. We've got Man United away, trip to Old Trafford. That's going to be our new live com. If it's anything like the Man City game, this is going to get ugly. The remaining Premier League fixtures, we are out of the FA Cup. We are out of the League Cup. But we're into the Champions League round of 16 then, which kind of looks like this. So 7 draws and a win. We're top with Paris Saint-Germain. They were basically perfect going into their final game. They drew away to Liverpool, who didn't have a great time of it. They finished actually below Young Boys. So there is that. Fenerbahce doing really well as well, getting through as one of the top 8 qualifiers. I think that's a massive overperformance. Club Brugge, good performance from them. And then some solid teams here, not really doing what you think, but I don't think too many surprises overall. But a very good, easy kind of league phase. And that's what brings us to here right now. So the Swansea City fans want Atalanta, then Villa, then Monaco. Seems like we've just gone and picked teams at the top end of the list. So yeah, let's see then. Can Arsenal deliver a big win? They fell one result short of last time in the Champions League. So potentially tough opponents out there. We'll see. Hit reset and try again. Come on, you Gunners. If we get FC Bayern, I swear. That's one of our fans, boys. That's one of our fans. Real Madrid, Club de Football, Football Club Barcelona, and Football Club Bayern München look pretty good. Forza Barça. Okay. And then Swansea City and Fenerbahce might not be among the tournament favourites, but write them off at your peril. That's interesting. If that's not one of our fans, and I don't know why we'd mention Fenerbahce, that is interesting. That is interesting. So we're in Barcelona, it looks like, for the draw. Madrid fan wants to add another trophy. Another person saying Swansea and Fenerbahce. Barca look good, but it's unpredictable. The main contenders, Real, Barca, Bayern. 16 times doesn't mean we do it again. Barcelona. And will you start the draw, please? I will. I will. I absolutely will. Napoli. And they will face Paris Saint-Germain. Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting one. So, yeah, we are seeded, by the way. The unseeded teams that we could face. Yeah, we're avoiding some big guns for sure. Man City, who battered us, Juventus, and the 3 favourites. PSG, who are scary, and Fenerbahce, who would probably be the team we'd most want to play. The Atalanta, Monaco, Villa, I will actually agree. Yeah, that is the easiest route for us. International. Inter Milan. But play Fenerbahce. So that's fairness. Reward for what they did in that group stage then. Arsenal will play Swansea. It'll be 5 times in one season. Is this 2 legs? It might be 2 legs, in which case it'll be even more, but yeah, we played them in the group stage. We got a draw at home. We played them at home in the league and we won. We played them on the road in the league. We should have won, but we got a draw. We played the kids against them or rotated side against them. We got battered in the League Cup. So will be Arsenal again. Liverpool will play Barcelona. Aston Villa will play Juventus. Monaco, Man City, Dortmund, Bayern Munich, and that leaves us Atlanta, Real Madrid. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, that's the round of 16 then. It's a tricky tie for us. But I've got to be honest with you, Arsenal aren't in a great place in the league. They are 9th. We've played the same number of games and we're, 23 points clear. They're in really bad form. There's hope there. There's a tiny modicum of hope there. Them and Spurs not really having great seasons. Leeds are actually doing really, really well. Newcastle Villa still knocking about. And then the big four that have been in this save, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, and Liverpool, all in the mix. I think if they win the game in hand, we're 3 points ahead of Liverpool. The loss to City put them top by a point. And then the 3 draws in a row here have given them a bit of a lead, sadly. So if we win our game in hand, they're 7 points clear. But our defense is not really where it was over the last couple of years, where I'd feel really comfortable, and especially last year. And we've already conceded 4 more goals than that. But that being said, we're only 9 away from equalising the number we've scored last season. So it's definitely a slight difference in how teams play us. But it is tight. It is tight. But this Arsenal team, as good as it is, and still with the same kind of players that they've had, it's not like a ton of people have left or a ton of people have joined or their quality levels have really gone down at all. We do have a shot. We do have a shot. Yeah. Gyökeres is the leading goal scorer. And of course, is a former loanee at Swansea before his, well, he didn't really do great at Brighton. Didn't really get much of a chance. Didn't really show anything. Goes out to Germany. Kind of does okay. Comes to Swansea. Looks abysmal. Goes to Coventry. Doesn't look great. Gets sold to Coventry. Kicks on. Sporting. Looks amazing. Big money move to Arsenal. And in game, he's not super threat. But yeah, 7 and 6. I do worry about him, and I think you have to worry about him. But it could have been worse. It could have been worse. So that's coming up really soon. That's going to be 6 games against Arsenal this year. 1-1, drawn 2, lost 1 at this stage. It's all kind of even. It is all kind of even. So let's get that all set up. There you go. I think that's good enough for training there. Again, set pieces, match tactics, match review, recovery, finish off that, and just a little bit of bondage for the boys in midweek on Thursday. Thursday night bondage, how about that? Thursday morning bondage, even better. Yeah. It actually doesn't come at a bad time for us because West Ham aren't doing great, Brighton aren't doing great, Leicester aren't doing great. So after this United game, really we play this double header. Then we got a few games that we got a shot at. Chelsea away is rough. Then we got our final two games that you expect something from. Spurs away, again, they aren't having the best of the season. Who knows? That could be something we get something from now. And then third place, Liverpool at home. And now first place, Man City away. With that potential title fight to come. So yeah, not a bad draw that I was kind of fearing, considering we finished top of the pile. Best team record in the entire Champions League. And we could have got some absolutely massive names. We did get one of the biggest clubs. So it's only really the fact that we've played them a lot recently and done very well that it is kind of all working out. Yamal update, 4 to 9 days. And then maybe he'll be on the bench for the second leg. He's definitely not going to be ready to play. That might be bench. Bench. Brighton could be his start. Maybe. Possibly. Depending how I feel. Then maybe back to the bench for Leicester. And then if he's got enough minutes under his belt, he looks fit enough, we might start him against Chelsea from there on out. It's a really good boost to have him actually there for that run-in, which is going to be super tight. If Leeds can do me a little bit of business here and we can beat United, then that will kind of really help out in keeping Liverpool back. Chelsea are already 21 points in a game back, so I think we're almost at the point if we win this game mathematically, we're like a point away from finishing in a Champions League spot. So either way, fantastic season again. Either way, everything looks pretty good. Yeah, I don't mind a lot of this, but I'm just going to make sure I've got the people I want in the kind of places I want. And then, for sure, we just need to call up a youngster in midfield. And that's always going to be Philip Murphy, if I can. But, yeah, back four looks good. Midfield looks good. We're going with Cam instead of Mainu, which I kind of understand. He's a worse player, but he plays better. So no start at Old Trafford for Kobe Mainu, which is pretty realistic, I think you'll find. And then Ferguson, and please, good game from Makoko. Please. Trafford, Furtado, Kennelly, Di Battista, the trio of the regens that probably are all going to be starters in the future for us. So it's good to see them getting minutes. And then Mainu, Bergvall, two very good young talents that we bought. I was going to say cheap, but Mainu wasn't cheap. It'll pay off eventually, but right now it looks like a bad deal. And Palfrey, Murphy, our players. Players I like a lot for the future. I can't go without a striker. I can't. Like, Coxell's out, so he's not playing against his old club. Yamal's not back yet. So Murphy is going to fall. Jean Regao can play up top, and that's why when you put in one striker on the bench, I can't put no strikers on the bench. Oh my God, Waller's out for 3 weeks. Beautiful. This is my season. This has been my season. There's Ward, Josh Evans, Mark Edwards. Like, at least you know how to kick a ball. This is what we're going through. And this isn't even anywhere near the levels of unfitness, jadedness, unhappiness, small injuries, big injuries, all hitting over the last 2 months. This is us on the other side of all that and looking relatively normal, but still missing Lamine Yamal, Coxell being out for a while, and just no depth whatsoever, which again is my fault. But if we do quickly look at the entire youth team, we've got a few goalkeepers, but most of them are out on loan. And the one that isn't out on loan isn't great. Our list of fullbacks are okay, not great. Our centre-backs, Ben Reynolds looks good. He might have to play left-back, although we've got better left-back prospects because he's 5'9". He's not really a centre-back. Balday's gone back out on loan. Callum King's gone out on loan, but they're the only two I really like in this list. Billy, not too bad, but we don't have a ton at right back either, so he might end up moving out to right back. But right now, again, there's very limited options I can do. And then midfield as well. Carl Smith, defensive midfielder, absolutely fine. Kwan Suk getting a few games, but he's falling down. Sadly, that isn't going to come through for me, I don't think. We're not going to get a career midfielder. Very disappointed with that. John Owen, though, looks absolutely abysmal. I hate that. And Thomas Pye, too. They look good at one point. They don't anymore. Roberts, Davis, and they all look average as hell. Lucas Jones doesn't look amazing. It's only Philip Murphy in midfield that has any prospects. But at least there's a few different options we've got for midfield. And then striker, Roberts, Fletcher, they're both not kind of what we thought they might be as well. But they're out on loan. Emran went back out on loan. Now Waller's injured. We're threadbare. We're threadbare. I should have got a loan striker and just put him in the reserves and upset their club. Instead, Mark Edwards, if we need someone up front, is going to have to come on at Old Trafford. That's not what you want. And sadly, this is only a tenth of it, but that is my exact thinking and my exact feelings going into the Man City game, which is the only game we've been truly battered in. At least we should be setting our starting 11 and have a little more off the bench than we had available that day. But up front, that's what I felt about the Man City game. But it was all over the bench and 3 or 4 starters I felt that way about. So let's hope this is a little bit better of a result. We have been working the ball into the box. I'm going to take that off because strikers are struggling, and I don't want to need to take a striker off because they're playing badly. Kind of want to let them take some shots, do what they need to do, get the job done. Yeah, I do like my side. I really do. My only problem is I really want Szoboszlai out on this side. I don't know that I truly want Elliott in the middle. Like, I didn't realize he was as good as he seems to be right now. He's actually listed as world-class midfielder. He's been absolutely amazing. 16.5 million, I don't think you can fault him. 7 goals, 13 assists. Just magical, really. Absolutely magical for us. And such a good pickup. 16.5 million. So big comes in for him. We might have to sell him, but do we keep him in the middle? Do we let him go out wide? I don't know. They're both good at it. I think maybe we just let our assistant cook in this one. And Cam is a little defensive at times, but he just scores from this position for some reason. I think we're just going to go for it. First 11 good. Bench options in defense are okay. In midfield are very good. In goalkeeper safe. Because it's James Trafford, he's pretty safe pair of hands. And then up front is very, very dodgy. Spalletti putting out Onana, Mazraoui, Cancelli, a very good regen defender, straight into their side alongside Ignacio and Dedic, with Ugarte protecting Mount. Our former boy, Jashari, keep forgetting he's there. That could come back and haunt us. Mbuemo, Marcus Rashford with the captain's armband, and Šeško up top. Binder, Delo, Sancho still at the club, Chiruobi, Lira, Leon, Sales Marquez, Emston James, and the perennially unfit Luke Shaw. I mean, put a little bit of pressure on them there, and then I think I'm just going to throw together a little team talk there, because everyone's already motivated. Don't want to overcomplicate it. Welcome to Old Trafford then. That's how they are lining up. Very dangerous, but their form isn't great. They are beatable. We are unbeaten, I think, in 6. 3 wins, 3 draws, if I'm not mistaken. And as you can see, we are 24 points clear. That is 8 games clear of them, which does mean technically they can catch us and surpass us on goal difference. But it's not likely. As Frimpong, we're going to go and give him a little encouragement. It's up to Evan Ferguson. What a ball. Like, nobody was there or anything. Cam Humphreys, oh my God, he's done it again. Ladies and gentlemen, not the world's best midfielder, defensive midfield option, etc., etc. But attacking Mizala on the left of a midfield 3. Like Ugarte with a perfect tackle. It's not even a pass or a layoff from Elliott. Humphreys just picks it up, drives, scores. Job done. It's what he does. It's why it's so hard to leave him out the side. It's why missing him for over 4 months was dreadful. And also not really having João Regal for, a month of that? Through 2 different injuries? Yeah. It's why Kobbie Mainoo, who you paid 95 million for, can't actually get in the team. Šeško to Mbuemo, I mean, if it's the other way around, that's probably a goal. Let's see then. Carboni to Humphreys. Back to Mark Gahey, captain. Carboni takes on his man, puts it across. Oh my God, that would have been... Oh my God, Szoboszlai hits it very well. Not quite well enough, but that would have been Cam Humphreys. That cross would have gone to. That could have been Cam's second goal. Absolutely crazy. They're going out wide, which they should do against us. It is the way to beat us. But Frimpong steps up. Szoboszlai. Elliott over the top. Is Ferguson onside? I think he is. It's not often that he misses like that. I was expecting that to tuck into the corner and be 2-0 up before half time. instead it just pings off the post and just everything slowed down there. I hope we don't live to regret that, but interceptions from defenders stepping up looks pretty decent right now. Combative in midfield, but we're getting a little bit of the bounce and we're working a little harder than them. Up top, nothing, but they haven't needed to do anything up top and they haven't really had a lot of service. And it's Cam Humphreys doing the bits again. So I'm gonna say you need to do better. We're gonna keep an eye on Nico because former Man City player, number 1, yellow card number 2, and I think he might be the only player in this entire save to have been sent off for us. So definitely keep an eye on that. Oh, I was going to say I would love Dadish to shoot. He doesn't. He fires it into the feet of Jashari. We're hesitant to go in and him on the box, and our former player levels things up in the opening 20 seconds or so. Let's try and put them under a bit of pressure. And then come back onto defensive, to cautious, and control some stuff here. Good period for us. Carboni to Nico. Elliott, beautiful one-touch stuff. Carboni! This left-hand side is providing everything. Unbelievable. The left back smashes it in. His throw-in, Nico Gonzalez, Elliott, straight into him. And the defense backs off. He just picks out the opposite post like Ferguson did, but slightly better. Puts it inside. Gets the job done. We've got a corner. Dom Shabozlai. It's going to come back to him. Elliott carries it through on his left foot. Onana just gets the fingertips on that one. And now Cam Humphreys. He lays it up. It can't quite get there. Diamonde. And that's going to be a problem. Mount, but he is isolated. Go to him. There we go. There we go. We kind of get out of danger. And now we got to make our subs because, yeah. So Nico, I think off for Corby Min. We'll drop Corby back. We'll just let him play. I think that's fine. Frimpong doesn't look that tired. Carboni doesn't look that tired. I'm going to leave them on right now. Harvey, I don't want to take him off because he's playing so well. But I'm actually going to put Bergvall into the lineup. And then we're going to move Dom out wide. And have Lucas just hold that midfield for me. And we haven't seen much from the strikers. I'm going to give them a few more minutes. Just freshen up that midfield, which has done a lot of our running for us today. Going to freshen that up a little bit. I know they've got a centre-back booked. Now is the time to change things up. Ferguson, he's just got goals in him. João Regao is coming on up top. Yeah, both our centre-backs don't look great right now. Diamonde is struggling. I don't know why, but he is. I'm going to go with Di Baptista. And it does look like Frimpong's put in a lot of work over that 7 minutes. He suddenly got really tired. So Canelli in. I would be happy to put Furtado in. But I'm not going to. I'd be okay putting Palfrey in if I needed to somewhere. But I don't need to, even though Cam is looking tired. I think maybe Diamonde needs to come off. Him and Makoko, Frimpong, Gonzalez, they're not playing great. They're not doing a ton. They are a little tired. I will say Harvey doesn't really... doesn't look that tired anymore. Like, that's a shame. That's a shame. What do we want to do? What do we want to do? How do we want to do this? I want to protect people. I want to protect people. I think... Yeah, you're right, though, Neuras. You're right. So... Yeah, I think that's good. We protect our flanks, because that's where most of the running and energy is needed. So Bosley he can sit and defend. He can sit and create. Ferguson's just maybe good for a goal now and again. And João Regao isn't bad up front. He's going to be more of a creator. But then again, we don't need to score. We've got tired, fit across our backline. We're kind of spacing things out a little. I think that's the best thing I can do. Give him a good team talk. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit nervous going into this. We've been the better team. Pretty much. But, like, I just need to get over the line. They got two defenders. Their entire back line is more, or as tired as ours, pretty much. Two of them are booked. They've got less fresh legs in midfield and up front than us. We're 2-1 up. This is an even game. We have a slight edge in. Can we get over the line and just finish this off? Free kick from deep. Dom Szoboszlai. Oh, Nana with a great save. That's two really good saves. One from Harvey, he tipped round. That from Dom, he gets clear. And that's just absolutely abysmal for us on that there. Don't want them to start pushing up on us too much. Carboni back to Mama. Humphreys to Carboni. And now we can attack down this flank. Inside. Evan Ferguson. Carboni picks it up again. We got the man overlap here right now. Back to Dom Szoboszlai. And Evan Ferguson's going off. What is it? Potential foot. Don't be a break. Don't be a break. Don't be a ligament. Don't be dumb. Yeah, those Mazzalas are working overtime now, boys. Those Mazzalas are working overtime now. I'm glad they're out there and fit. Because they got to take up all the running out wide. They got to take all the running up wide. They're going to go there. They're going to have no support, really, from the fullbacks. We've got 10 minutes with 10 men with inviting pressure. They got fresh legs up front in Obi. Don't do anything stupid. Don't give them anything cheap. That's all I want. If they're going to beat us, they're going to earn it. Humphreys, Bergvall, Regao, Canelli. Bergvall to Gahey. No, don't you go down the wing. Don't you go down the wing. Oh, such a horrible looking pass there. Szoboszlai. Humphreys does well, but that opens us up. And what a chip from Eric Lira. Undeserved. We do go down to 10 men. Our injury bug continues. And, yeah, Mark Gahey went out on the wing, and he's sprinting a comeback. Mamadashvili makes himself big, but it's a lovely chip. Gahey, why are you trying to run down the fucking right wing when we're 2-1 up at Old Trafford, down to 10 men through injury? 94th minute, why are you going down the right wing? Shoot from here. Put a ball into Rego and just let him try and run onto it. Uncautious. Oh my God. It's brutal. That's kind of been us in some big games. Not really fit. Dropping points is another draw. That's what, 4 draws in the last 5 games now. Yeah, maybe I could have saved a sub, but oh, I didn't expect that. Okay. That's harsh as hell. That's harsh as hell. Give me good news. Give me good news. Give me good news. Give me good news. Nope. It's a month out for Evan Ferguson, the only striker that's been scoring. Everything's been 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 3 months, 5 months. Just, I need your mile back. I need your mile back. Oh my God, I got Arsenal without Yamal and without Evan Ferguson. uh, yeah, okay, things are about to get way more difficult. Way more difficult. I do feel we're paying the price for last season being like really fit and not suffering injuries and watching everybody else get draws that they probably should win and it all just bit by bit by bit by bit comes together and we win again when we probably shouldn't last year. This year everything else is going against us. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah. Not be the best for injuries. Still been a great season. Still something we can really kind of be good at. Liverpool drop points, which is nice. Still stay potentially 3 points ahead of them. And we are now the 12 points ahead of Chelsea, so that takes us, to the final 5 games? Yeah. United rescuing that point. Oh, that sucks. That's 14 points for them, so that's the final 4 games. Which means we could, especially with Villa's game now, we could drop back a little more. Maybe we don't even get Champions League this year. It was looking so good for a while. No, I don't know. Interesting. Yamal's injured, Coxell injured, Waller's injured. They're all the strikers. Ferguson, no injured. Mokoko's our only real striker left. Jean Rigaud's an attacking midfielder, Mark Edwards, and Richard Roberts. I mean, they're both midfielders that can play up top. Neither one's amazing. Edwards is even being sold. Oh, this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I thought we were in a really good place in the league, and this last month has just been brutal. Down to 170 million in the bank. And we did get our facilities downgraded, actually. I haven't even asked about those. Can I get those back up? We're also way over our staff, which means our reputation has fluctuated once more. 1 coach, 4 scouts, 2 performance analysts. At least it's only in the first team, I guess. It's only the first team. We are still 4-star reputation, though, but I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do either. Ferguson and Humphreys. Yeah. So, Arsenal, Champions League. Up next, maybe make that the live com for the next episode. But, yeah. I think this is an interesting place to leave it, but good live com. Sadly didn't go away. The updates, the good form now slowly falling off. So, yeah, we'll see. But, hey, let me know what you think. Comment section down below. I'll speak to you next time, though. I appreciate all the support. And until then, take care, stay safe, all the very best to you. I'll see you again soon.